You're watching and listening to The Daily Living Show with D. Elias.
Somewhere throughout the 21st century, our priorities have shifted to a political stance that's no longer acceptable in our country. Our main focus should be protecting our children and our community from drug and human trafficking and gang-related activity that is plaguing our neighborhoods. Today, I'm at the Mary and Martha Center. As I walk inside, I'm greeted by three ladies with a vision, a dream, and a faithful mission to change our community, giving our youth a safe place to grow and learn. So today on the Daily Living Show, I have Kim Martin, Olivia, Romine, and Robin Cribb.
Yes.
So let's start, if you can, Olivia, by telling me how this all got started. What was your vision?
Well, the vision came from God, of course. And we took a journey of praying for our city in the early mornings. It was with Kim and Louise Goodman and Lynette Gilmore. And we became prayers warriors for our city because our city has needs. And our city is, we love our city. Mm-hmm. And we support our city. And so we believe that through this prayer, early in the morning times, around 5 o'clock, we would get in Miss Kim's car, and then we would go around the city and pray at certain points, like unknowingly, to most churches or a pastor, but this was God's leading for us. And we began this journey, and it took about 2 or 3 years of prayer. And then the vision was beginning to come to us. And through connections with people and conferences that we went to, we got confirmation that we were going to have a building. And of course that excited us, but we didn't know what all that entailed. Mm-hmm. Because the vision seemed to be larger than us, but what our concern was for our city. And then God began the journey with us through the Mary Martha Center.
Kim, you tell me how y'all come up with the name Mary and Martha Center.
Okay. In the Bible, these two women were from Bethany, and Jesus would come to visit them quite often. He loved to stay at their house. And in the Gospels, it tells you that Mary would sit at Jesus' feet, and Martha would be preparing the food and stuff. And so that's what we do, because we feed and we tell people about Jesus. That is our role here and what God has called us to do, to minister to people.
What year did this center get established?
In 1999. So this is our 20th year of ministering. And we first started ministering to drug addicts at the old church by the Pilgrim. My husband let us have that building. And Miss Lynette was a drug dealer at one point. And then she got radically saved and delivered. And so when we were praying, we were going to the drug houses. And we would sit outside and pray for those drug addicts. And they would be looking through the...
They didn't know that.
Yeah, they did know.
They did know.
They did know, because they named us the recruiters.
Oh.
And sometimes we would get to visit with them.
They're all paranoid.
Yeah, sometimes we would get to pray with them. And then we would see people on the street at 5 o'clock in the morning, and I was amazed. Lynette knew a lot about drugs, but the other three of us knew nothing about drugs. Right. But we do now. We know a lot about drugs now, but we knew how to pray and how to love people.
You just knew they needed help.
Yeah. And so the first Christmas that we had in the new building, we decided we were going to have a Christmas party for the children. okay, of the drug addicts. So we had 18 children that came. We had 2 little Christmas parties for them on Saturday. And we all 4 went home, and God said, there's your ministry. And we go, we weren't looking for a ministry. I'm going to tell you, we would pray, we would read the Bible together, we would go eat lunch. I had children, she had children, but that's what God did, and that's how.
Those children, when you had the Christmas party, would they not have had a Christmas if it had not been for y'all?
Well, I probably not. Probably no, for sure.
Right.
No, they would not have had a Christmas. Yeah. And that's what first came. Our I don't even know how to say. Our dynamics has sort of changed from the very beginning of who comes. Now we're a place where children love to come, and it doesn't matter if they're drug addicts. We just want to share Jesus with them. That's our number one goal here. Is He is what sets them free. He is life, and that's why we're here. And people trust us with their children.
Right. What all services do y'all hold or provide here?
Why don't you let Robin answer?
Right now we just minister really to the kids. We pick them up from school, and then we bring them here, and we feed them food, and then we let them get their energy out, and then we worship. We teach them how to worship the Lord. We're really a non-denominational, and we have children here that are Catholic, Baptist, Assembly, all different religions. But we just preach the Bible, and that's what we tell them about is God and Jesus. And then after that, then we have somebody that gives them the word. And sometimes we break them up in grades, and we have teachers for certain grades, and because not all kids are on the same level.
Right.
And so we do that, but our main focus on is we feed them physically and spiritually, emotionally, and then whatever needs that they may have. I mean, we have some people that are counselors, and so if we see a kid that needs counseling, we'll kind of, hey, Miss So-and-so, you need to come talk to this one, or, pull them in the office, and also at one point we had tutors, because we've gone from lots of volunteers to 3 volunteers, and when you have anywhere from 20 to 80 kids, it's hard to do the one-on-one.
Right.
So the more volunteers we have, the more we're able to really minister to each and every need of the children. But through that, the parents get involved sometimes. And sometimes we may see people that come in and say, oh, I want to come help, because they want to come help, but really they need ministering to.
Right.
So they'll come, and we will meet their need, whatever need it is, not necessarily monetarily, but spiritual, emotional need, and then they go on. So we have volunteers throughout that we've had as much as 20, 25 at a time, and then it comes down to the core, and that's what I call us. It's kind of the core.
Right.
We're here whenever.
How many kids come?
This year we don't know yet.
We start today, so
Today's
we're
the
real
first
excited
day.
about
Today's
today.
day.
We have one day. I remember when our building got flooded, and God pushed us out, and we had to go to the first. They allowed us to go in there for 2 years, 3 years,
3 years while we were
3
building
years
this
while
building.
we were building this building. That we probably planned for 50, and we had over 100 kids show up.
Wow.
But I'm going to tell y'all that spaghetti
It multiplied.
We saw a miracle, and that is what we. Yeah, it was, and then we were taking them home back then, and so we had all these kids.
And it would be 8 o'clock before we'd get home.
Yeah.
Because we were taking them home.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's one thing that we did have to come to a decision
Right.
that we couldn't do that no more.
Right.
Because we had the church's bus, which held 30, and then our 2 15-passenger vans that were donated to us. And we've had them since the beginning. And so we were making 5 and 6 trips, and parents was calling us, well, yeah, your kid's on the van, or he's here somewhere, we'll get him home. But we just got too big.
Right.
And so then we had to come together, and we all prayed separately, but we would pray together. And the Lord spoke to us individually and then together and said, you got to quit taking kids home because you're limiting the people that you can minister to.
Right.
And so now, yes, there was kids that can't come because they're not in town or their parents have to work and stuff like that.
Right.
But that gives us the ability to really focus in on the kids that are coming.
Right.
And that we can minister to. And then there's kids that quit coming for a while, but then the parents loved, whether it's for babysitting or because they saw a change in their kid's life
Right.
because of Jesus. And then they would bring them back.
So y'all started out initially to help rehabilitate drug addicts, and now you still do that. It's through the RSET program.
Yeah, yes. Yeah, but we're not counseling.
Yeah, no.
We're loving them.
Yeah,
we love
and
them.
we allow Lynette to use our facilities for the RSET, but
Right.
by no means are we
We just
RSET
love them.
counselors.
We visit
You
with
know.
them and love on them, and like
Yeah.
there's some at my house today working.
Right.
Well, I'm gonna tell you this. I hurt my back yesterday, and they prayed over me this morning.
Right.
And I just love that this morning. Yeah, yeah. You just love people.
And you
We
feel
love
better.
people. Yeah.
What are y'all in need of? How could the community help you guys?
Well, I would say probably volunteers, but have to know that we're free here and sort of sometimes chaotic.
We don't have an agenda.
We don't have an agenda.
It's
We let
the Holy
Lord.
Spirit
Yeah.
lead.
We definitely need a new computer or laptop because we've had ours since 2000 and it is so way behind. And
Right.
there's no way to update it that it just frustrates me to death.
We just keep getting warnings.
Yeah.
We'll just keep pushing through it.
What
We
else?
also need monies because, as you see, this is a 6,000 square foot building. And we have paid for everything through private donations.
Right.
But our electric bills are $500 and $600.
Right.
You know, and so I'm not ashamed to say we need money.
Right.
You know, if you're not a person that wants to come and help with kids, if you're not somebody that is a worker or can't physically or because of your job, but in your heart God's telling you to give,
Right.
give money. I promise you, we get nothing from it. We get no money,
Right.
no pay. Our pay is when we see those kids and the smile on those kids' face.
Right.
So we need money to buy their food, to pay the electric bill, to pay the water bill, to pay the gas bill. And we also have showers. And so we've allowed people that
We did hurricane victims one
Yeah.
time and
fed them.
fed them.
So we have 2 bathrooms, a man and a woman's, and each has 2 showers,
Yeah.
2 toilets, and they're handicap accessible.
Right.
And so if need, you know, we could use this as a shelter, but of course, that's kind of where we stopped with the government. We didn't want government funding because we want to control.
Right.
You know, this is private. And we don't rent it out to people because then you open up the door for all kinds of
Right.
yuck. And so it's just, we just need that. We need some gravel for our building. We got some money donated for a storage building. We've got our lawn mowers and equipment out there, and it needs some gravel because when it rains, it kind of floods. We need,
We probably will need a new van one of these days.
yes, a new van.
We take our kids to Alabama to a camp that is awesome, and so that's the furthest that we travel. But most of the places is here, and
Well, and even picking up kids at school.
Yeah.
We have to make 3 and 4 trips.
Right.
Because now the First Baptist Church, they sold their 35 passenger van. So now we're back to just our 2 15
Right.
passenger vans. So on Thursdays when we minister to the younger kids from 3rd through 5th,
Right.
you know, we may have 60, 80 kids.
Right.
So that's several trips that we've got to make.
yeah.
Where do you see yourselves with this 5 years from now? Are y'all trying to expand?
Well, we started something new in August. Yeah, we had a Saturday night
It's connect-
community
conference.
called Connection.
Connection.
That we had a lot of young people, but we had adults here too, and children. So we're wanting to do more, some of that maybe monthly.
Right.
And bring in speakers or worship. And we've had our own here before too. So that's something new that we have started.
It's good to give kids something to do on the weekends,
Oh, yeah.
Saturday nights and
Yeah.
Sunday, because in a rural area like this, there is nothing.
Yeah.
And at least you know when they're here,
Yeah.
it's good, clean fun.
And in the summer, our kids will call and say, hey, can we just come to the center and hang out?
Right.
So we found ourselves coming down here in the middle of the day,
Yeah.
and they would turn the sound system on, because we have an amazing sound system, and lights and all of that. And they just want to come and worship, and they want to get that microphone, and they want to sing, and
Pretend
you
like
know,
they're-
yeah. And so then that ministers to us, and then we have Bible studies here for them, and then like this week we had one of our older staff kids that's graduated, and she's an adult now, and she just come by just to see what we were doing. And
She
Yeah.
graduated
hang
from the
out.
University of Arkansas with a chemist degree.
Oh, wow.
So did you not know that made our heart go?
Yeah.
And she
Like
wanted
this.
to see where the Mary Martha was,
Right.
because she was with us when we were in the old church, you know,
She
and
was one of
so
our beginning.
Yeah.
yeah. So you know, they just
First one.
they love the Mary Martha Center. It's a safe place.
Right.
It's where they feel love.
Yeah.
Y'all feed the children and everything. Do you have businesses that donate food and stuff?
No, we
Well,
We-
Tyson has it.
Oh,
yeah,
Tyson
and-
has.
and Pilgrim.
And Pilgrim both have.
And Pilgrim both
but not
have.
on a regular
But-
weekly
yeah.
basis.
But usually they'll call us, or we'll mention that we have something coming up, and then they,
When there's an event,
if
they
there's an
help.
event, we've had, partner dinners for, appreciation dinners
Right.
in the past for our partners. And it's just been miraculous what God can do here. And I wanted to insert this because without vision, the people perish. And if we don't have a vision for our community, our, and our government,
Mhm.
and our nation, we will perish.
Right.
Because vision is something that God is all about.
Mhm.
And He is a God that, with possible things to
Mhm.
come. And so I think it takes faith and prayer. And you asked a few minutes ago what our needs are. We need prayer too. And we need support too.
Right.
And we think our hearts are so grateful because sometimes we don't know what tomorrow might hold.
Absolutely.
And but God always takes care of us, and He is a God that is to be praised and to be honored and to be loved. And the love of God can come through us when we know Him personally, when we are saved and filled with the Holy Spirit. It's the love of God that we give here to these kids, because our kids come from different situations. There's some situations that may be
Horrible.
Dee, I would think you know so much about.
Yes.
And I know some situations too, because I grew up in a situation that I see kids come into this center every day after school that only needs love, and maybe a smile, a prayer,
Right.
a pat on the back. And we can do that.
Yeah.
We can do that in this community. Our schools need the Lord. Our schools are important. Our city is just, I was born and raised here.
Mhm.
I'm 77. And so this is a deep-rooted thing within me. God moved me back from Oklahoma City, and He knows what He's doing. He knows what He's doing in Kim's life. He knows what He's doing in Robin's life. We're here together to support one another and believe in what God has given us, because it is His. This building belongs to Him. It is not ours. It is ours, given to Him by faith, and we should be good stewardships of it, and that's what we are.
Right.
We're family. We are family, absolutely family. So the Mary Martha Center is in our hearts first, because God put it there. And we have the vision. The vision is to be used. that he has created this building. This ground was prayed over probably 2 years before
Right.
that we had the actual building now, where it was prophesied to the lady in Tulsa that she said she saw a building over us. And Kim and I looked at each other like, oh, what in the world is she talking about? Because we weren't expecting this.
Right. No.
No, we were going to just stay praying in
Praying and
her
ministering out of my car.
And so that's really what we thought we were supposed to do.
Yeah.
And look around and see what God has built. It is His, it is dedicated to Him and to the people that come through that door. They're always welcome. It's anyone. God has not closed the door to any,
Right.
just a few certain people. No, we're not denominational. We're just a ministry
Right.
that lifts up the Lord Jesus, and He will call all men and children unto Him.
And whenever I first started bringing my son Nick here, I wouldn't let him come because I thought it was just for the needed kids.
Right.
Well, I'm a single mother. I'm a paramedic, been here since April of '99 in the community. And I said, well, Nick, we don't, that's
Right.
for those kids that needs help. You don't need help. You got a good home, you got a good home life, And then Leslie Ray was like, it's not just for the needy. And I said, well, ain't that what it's for? She said, no, it's for everybody that needs Jesus.
Right.
And so that's what I want to say. Yes, we do have all walks of
Rich, poor.
rich, poor, the middle class. It's just about Jesus.
Right.
And we're all His children. Every color, every whether you have $10,000 in your bank or you live payday to payday like me.
Right.
We love Jesus, and that's all it's about.
Well, from the day that you guys would pull up at a druggie's house and pray over them while they're staring out the window to today, y'all have come a long way.
Yes.
A long way.
Thank the Lord
Absolutely.
that we're not where we were before.
And we would love to be able to do it more than just 2 days a week.
Oh, yeah.
And we even did consider a couple of years ago doing a summer, because we would do a summer 6-week boot camp with kids.
Right.
But we did think about joining with Harvest Food Texarkana about doing a feeding program. But then there was also several other people in the community did the feeding programs. And then it all boils down to volunteers. I mean, because I still work, and even though they don't, they still have
Right.
things they have to do. And so if you don't have, you got to be committed.
Right.
And right now, we are committed during the school year. And then in the summer, if we're able to, then we do some programs. But we don't want to do something and not be able to do it well.
Right. Or finish it.
And finish it.
That's right.
Yeah, so we need good community support. Even if you can't come but just one day a week.
Right.
And like we get here usually at 10 on Tuesdays and Thursdays to fellowship with each other, and then bring our prayers to each other. Like if I'm having something going on in my life, this is where we come, and we'll do Bible studies if that's what we're needed. We clean and then we prepare
Right.
and cook the meals, and then they get ready for their teaching and lessons.
Right.
So we had Miss Kathleen Miller, who has moved to be with her family in Mississippi, but she would come in the mornings and just do the cake.
Really.
And I say just do the cake, but let me tell you, that cake is the most important thing to them kids.
Really important.
So that's all she would do. She would come, she would cook the cake, wait and let it cool. She frosted it, and most of the time she didn't even stay and eat lunch with us.
Right.
Because she had to go home because she had things she had to do. And now Miss Patty Atkins, she does our desserts now. And she's going through a battle of a sickness now, and we keep telling her, Miss Patty, we'll do it. Well, no.
Right.
She said, that gives me joy. So she even is going through the sickness that she has,
Right.
still has the love of the Lord and the compassion and commitment
Right.
that she's going to do them cupcakes. So
Yeah.
anything, whether you think it's too small, it's not.
We had one lady that came from school because she worked at the school, and all she would do is get the kids home in the cars.
Yeah.
Big help.
Yeah.
Right.
When you're trying to get
Absolutely.
little kids in the car.
Right.
Oh,
Or come and just help wash the dishes and clean up after after the kids. So any kind of help
Right.
is needed.
Well, as far as daily living and our own business, I'm gonna donate $100.
Oh,
And I hope other businesses can do that too, because, I mean, it's a tax write-off, it's deductible, you know, it helps me, it helps you guys, it helps the
and
children.
God will bless you, I'm telling you.
Ranch House, they give
Yeah.
faithfully. And of course, Romine Oil gave faithfully. You can still give. Through Mrs. Olivia. Volunteering all the time.
Right. And I will make sure I get the contact information, and that way if people want to mail a donation or whatever they can, they'll have all the information they need.
Okay.
What 2 days are y'all open currently?
Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Tuesdays and Thursdays. And today's Tuesday, and it's the first day.
Yes.
These
We're
are the
excited.
6th through the 12th grade, which are my favorite children. And we quit doing the kindergarten through 2nd grade just so we could really focus on the middle school, junior high, and high school kids, because it's so important that we get that good foundation before,
Right.
really before they get to high school. So I think it's worked good. Miss Olivia's missed the little ones because she loves and we do, they're the cutest things.
And that was our biggest group of kids.
Right.
Right,
But it's just, their attention span's really short.
Right.
And when you have 80 to 100 little kids,
Yes.
it's hard,
yeah,
To
keep
And
them
so we just
focused.
felt like we weren't doing them
right.
justice. It was more of a daycare with a little bit of lesson.
Right.
And I was registering them in the computer today, but they're coming back because they're 3rd graders today, and
Yeah, so
so
it's gonna be
we're going to
exciting.
see them, and they're going to be so excited to be here. Y'all, they are so excited to be here.
Yeah.
You come through that door because they want cake.
And we'll be in Walmart and they'll say, "There's Mary Martha. There's Mary Martha." They don't know her name. They just know it's Mary Martha.
Such a blessing. Such a blessing.
Yeah.
We get every day. Such a satisfaction of the calling that God has put on us, to know that we're still doing it, So God called us, or we still wouldn't be doing it.
Right.
That's for sure, right?
Well, thank you very much
Dee, thank you.
for what y'all do to help the community, each one of y'all.
Thank you.
Thank you, thank you.
Thanks to a great support group within the community, the Mary and Martha Center has a stage for entertaining, a state-of-the-art sound system, giving our kids of all ages a place to play and learn. This is also a fully functional facility with an industrial kitchen where hot, nutritious meals are prepared for them. For outdoor activities, a basketball court has also been donated. When I first walked in, I noticed a beautiful painting on the wall. Here's Miss Kim to explain the history behind the painting.
Hey, all right. Let me introduce you to our Amber Memorial Tree. This was created because of a young girl that came out of college and she was going to volunteer here, and her mother is a volunteer here, and she passed away from colon cancer. So people are able to donate in honor or in memory of somebody, and we then put a gold leaf, a bronze leaf, and a silver leaf on the tree, depending on how much money is donated. So this is very special to us because of who it represents.
Thanks to Kim Martin, Olivia Romine, and Robin Cribb for 20-plus years of hard work and dedication to our community. Please support our sponsor, RenovationTea.com. You'll find a large variety from daily to specific herbal remedy teas, all certified organic and fair trade. Use DL10 to get a 10% discount. You can find details in the description below. If you like what I'm doing, please like and subscribe, and don't forget to hit the notification bell so you won't miss an episode.